Have you ever truly paused to consider the silent, gnawing question within? That persistent feeling, despite your earnest efforts, that an essential piece of the grand puzzle of success remains elusive, just beyond your grasp. Do you labor, strategize, and strive, yet encounter a recurring barrier, an invisible ceiling that seems to limit your ascent? This is not merely a fleeting thought, but a profound, fundamental inquiry into the very fabric of achievement. What if I told you there exists a secret code? Not a mere trick or fleeting fad, but a foundational truth, a principle so robust, so inherently powerful, that its very existence is often overlooked by those consumed by surface-level pursuits. This truth, you see, is not abstract philosophy for the ivory tower. It is the very engine of manifest destiny. Prepare yourself, for what you are about to encounter transcends conventional advice. These are not ephemeral suggestions or motivational platitudes designed to momentarily lift your spirits before they inevitably wane. No, what unfolds before you are the 12 universal laws of success, the immutable principles. The very blueprint that Napoleon Hill, through decades of relentless inquiry and unparalleled access to the titans of industry and innovation, painstakingly dedicated his entire life to observing, codifying, and ultimately unveiling for all who possess the courage to heed them. Do you comprehend the gravity of that dedication? A life spent dissecting the very essence of human triumph, distilling its myriad forms into a coherent, actionable system. This knowledge, I must impress upon you with an intensity that demands your full attention, is not simply valuable, it is urgent. Why urgent, you ask? Because every passing moment you spend without aligning your actions with these potent forces is a moment squandered, an opportunity to build the life you envision, irrevocably lost to the currents of chance and unguided ambition. Once you truly grasp these laws, once you internalize their profound implications and begin to integrate them into the very core of your being, your entire perception of success, of effort, of potential will be irrevocably transformed. It is not merely an enhancement, it is a fundamental shift, a complete recalibration of your internal compass. Can you imagine the clarity, the unwavering resolve that comes from understanding the true nature of the forces at play in your journey? Your life, as you perceive it now, stands on the precipice of a monumental shift. It is poised to change, forever. This is not hyperbole. It is a promise rooted in immutable principles. The question you must now ask yourself, in the quiet solitude of your own reflection, is whether you are truly ready to embrace this transformation. Are you prepared to cast aside the fleeting distractions and immerse yourself in a framework that has consistently, predictably, and powerfully propelled countless individuals from obscurity to enduring eminence? Do you possess the hunger, the earnest desire to not just hear these laws but to embody them, to make them the very bedrock of your existence? The time for mere passive consumption has passed. The moment for profound understanding and decisive action has arrived. The blueprint is here. Will you read it, or will you build? This is the crossroads. Choose wisely. Now, let us delve deeper into the origins of this blueprint, to truly understand the architect behind it, and why his insights remain not just relevant, but critically indispensable in our frenetic modern age. Who was this Napoleon Hill, you might ask, and why should his decades-old observations compel our attention today? He was not merely a scribe, compiling anecdotes. He was, in essence, the architect of the human mind of success. Consider that title for a moment. An architect does not merely sketch. An architect designs systems, understands structures, foresees challenges, and ensures foundational integrity. Hill undertook this task for the very fabric of achievement. He devoted what many would consider an extraordinary portion of his life, not in theoretical contemplation, but in direct, intimate apprenticeship with the titans of his era. Imagine, for a moment, the intellectual proximity, spending decades in the presence of minds like Thomas Edison, observing his relentless experimentation and unwavering belief, sitting at the feet of Henry Ford, understanding the audacious vision that birthed the automotive age, conversing with Andrew Carnegie, unpicking the intricate threads of his vast industrial empire, and other figures whose names resonate with synonymous power and accomplishment. Hill's purpose in these associations was not to merely chronicle their exploits, to write biographies of their grandeur. No, his mission was far more profound, far more scientific in its rigor. He was there to extract the immutable principles that propelled them, the underlying laws that governed their triumphs, regardless of their disparate fields or individual personalities. He sought the universal operating code, the hidden mechanics that permitted their extraordinary achievements. In a world now relentlessly saturated with fleeting hacks, with quick fixes, instant solutions, and empty promises that evaporate like morning mist, the value of Hill's work becomes not just apparent, but a veritable beacon. We are bombarded daily by schemes purporting to offer shortcuts, to bypass the natural order of cause and effect. Yet, these often lead to transient gains, followed by deeper disillusionment. What Hill bequeathed to us is not a temporary patch. It is an operating system, a comprehensive, robust framework designed for enduring success, built upon the bedrock of human psychology and universal truths. It is a timeless map, drawn not with superficial landmarks, but with the fundamental forces that guide all sustained achievement. Can you truly afford to navigate your life, your aspirations, with anything less than such a foundational understanding? This map, this system, is for anyone, absolutely anyone, who dares to dream beyond the ordinary, who possesses the courage to act in alignment with their deepest desires. But here lies the pivotal distinction, the very crux of our discussion. The key is not merely possessing this map. The key, the true differentiator, lies in how to activate that map today. It is one thing to hold the schematic of a powerful engine. It is an entirely different endeavor to ignite it, to engage its mechanisms, and to steer it purposefully toward your chosen destination. Understanding the principles is the first step, yes, but the real power emerges in their application, in the deliberate, consistent engagement with these laws. And that, precisely, is our shared objective in the journey we now undertake. We are not just learning, we are preparing to activate. Now, having laid the groundwork, having understood the magnitude of the blueprint that awaits, let us turn our attention to the very first, and perhaps the most fundamental, of these universal laws. It is a principle so potent, so utterly indispensable, that without its activation, all subsequent efforts, however meticulously planned, however diligently executed, will ultimately falter. This is the law that I have termed, with deliberate intent, the incinerator of indifference. Consider for a moment the vast chasm that separates a mere wish from an unyielding, burning desire. Do you simply wish for success? Do you hope for prosperity? Or does an inner fire rage within you, an unquenchable thirst for a specific outcome that borders on obsession? This is not a subtle distinction. It is the difference between a flickering candle and a roaring furnace. The incinerator of indifference demands that you discard the tepid, the lukewarm, the vague aspirations that clutter the minds of the masses. It insists upon a clarity of purpose so intense, so deeply embedded in your psyche, that it literally consumes all doubt, all fear, all possibility of retreat. Many, when confronted with the concept of desire, mistakenly equate it with a fleeting fancy, a momentary longing that dissipates at the first sign of resistance. But the desire I speak of, the kind that propels individuals to extraordinary heights, is an entirely different beast. It is an implacable hunger, a profound yearning that permeates your very being, shaping your thoughts, influencing your decisions, and ultimately dictating your actions. It transforms a nebulous desire to have into an unwavering desire to be. To truly activate this law, you must move beyond merely wanting an external object or circumstance. You must envision yourself as the person who possesses that object, as the individual who achieves that circumstance, to the point where the distinction between the current reality and the desired future begins to blur in your mind. This is the psychological alchemy at play, a transmutation of pure wanting into an identity. Have you ever felt that profound conviction, that visceral certainty, that a particular goal is not just possible but inevitable? That is the essence of a burning desire. It creates what I call a point of no return within your consciousness. Once you reach this point, retreat is no longer an option. Failure is not a consideration. There is only the path forward, illuminated by the intensity of your purpose. This isn't stubbornness, it is an intelligent, focused determination, born of a deep-seated belief in the attainability of your aim, fueled by an emotional intensity that the universe itself seems compelled to answer. It is this emotional charge, this deep-seated conviction, that differentiates the truly successful from those who merely dream. Where does your own desire fall on this spectrum? Is it a gentle breeze or a tempest? The most common and devastating error, one I observed in countless individuals destined for mediocrity, is the confusion between true desire and mere hope or a vague dream. Hope, while not inherently negative, is often a passive state. It is wishing for something without necessarily committing one's entire being to its attainment. A vague dream is formless, lacking the specific outline and emotional fervor required to manifest into reality. It is the individual who says, "I hope to be wealthy someday," versus the one who declares, "I will achieve financial independence by specific date, by specific means." One is a whisper in the wind, the other is a command issued to the universe, backed by an emotional force that vibrates through every fiber of one's existence. Do you see the critical distinction? Do you recognize which camp your own aspirations currently occupy? The incinerator of indifference will accept nothing less than this burning, all-consuming desire. It is the genesis of all great achievements, the starting point from which every empire, every innovation, every personal triumph has sprung. Without it, the engine remains cold, the map unread, the blueprint merely a piece of paper. Having ignited the incinerator of indifference with a burning, unyielding desire, we now turn our attention to the second immutable law, a principle that serves as the very invisible material that constructs your empires. This is the law of faith. Do not for a single moment misunderstand this concept as mere religious adherence or blind belief in the unknown. Napoleon Hill observed something far more profound, far more actionable in the lives of the truly successful. He understood faith not as a passive hope, but as an active conviction, a state of mind so absolute, so unwavering, that it precedes and dictates the very manifestation of your desires. It is the architect's blueprint made real in the mind before it ever touches paper or solid form. Consider the nature of an architect's work. Does he begin construction on a whim? Or does he first conceive of the structure in intricate detail, believing implicitly in its feasibility, visualizing its completion before the first stone is laid? This mental construction, this internal certainty, is the essence of the faith I speak of. It is the unwavering belief in the attainment of your definite chief aim, coupled with the absolute knowledge that the universe, or whatever higher intelligence you acknowledge, will cooperate in translating your thought into its physical equivalent. This is not mystical thinking for its own sake. It is a project mental detailed, a meticulous inner engineering that forces the universe to respond. How deeply rooted is your own conviction? Is it a fragile sapling, easily swayed by the winds of doubt, or a mighty oak, firm against any storm? Many find themselves trapped in a cycle of doubt and skepticism, dismissing faith as impractical idealism. Yet, I witnessed firsthand how individuals like Edison and Ford, men of immense practicality and innovation, harbored an unshakable belief in their often untested ideas. They proceeded with a certainty that defied conventional logic because their inner conviction was so absolute. This was their faith in action. It was a refusal to entertain the possibility of failure in their minds, even when external circumstances seemed to scream impossibility. This internal fortitude, this unwavering mental stance, is what allowed them to push past countless setbacks, to endure ridicule, and to ultimately bend reality to their will. Where does your inner dialogue stand when faced with adversity? Does it falter, or does it affirm? The crucial distinction lies between what I call passive faith and active faith. Passive faith is akin to wishing on a star, a hopeful but ultimately powerless act. Active faith, however, is a dynamic force. It is the firm conviction that your objective can be achieved, and the conscious choice to act as if it is already achieved, or is in the process of becoming. It means maintaining a positive mental attitude regardless of present appearances, knowing that you possess the inner resources and the cosmic backing to bring your desires to fruition. It means filling your mind daily with thoughts of success, of attainment, of achievement, to the exclusion of all negative limiting beliefs. Are you actively cultivating this mental environment or allowing it to be dictated by external circumstances? The error, you see, is to wait for external validation before cultivating this inner state. People often say, "I'll believe it when I see it." But the law of faith, as revealed by Hill's observations, dictates that you must believe it before you see it. Your belief, your conviction, is the very force that magnetizes and draws your desired outcome into reality. It is the silent, potent command you issue to the universe, and the universe, in its infinite wisdom, responds in kind. If your mental blueprint is riddled with holes of doubt, if the invisible material of your conviction is weak, how can you expect the physical structure of your empire to stand strong? True faith is not merely a thought. It is an emotion, a feeling of absolute certainty that permeates your entire being, compelling you to persist, to innovate, to overcome until your vision is made manifest. Cultivate this unshakable belief, for it is the bedrock upon which all lasting achievement is built. Without this firm foundation, even the most burning desire may dissipate into the ether of unfulfilled dreams. Having forged your unyielding desire and anchored it with an unshakable faith, we now arrive at the mechanism that translates these potent mental states into tangible reality. This is the third universal law, what I term the silent programmer. Consider your mind, not as a passive recipient of external stimuli, but as an incredibly powerful, sophisticated computer. Within this intricate system lies your subconscious mind, a vast, often unexamined domain that operates relentlessly, accepting commands without question, and dutifully executing the programs it has been fed. The crucial question then becomes, who is doing the programming? And more importantly, are you consciously directing this profound power, or allowing it to be shaped by default, by circumstance, by the casual inputs of the world around you? This law, autosuggestion, is not merely about repeating words. It is about the deliberate, intentional act of feeding your subconscious mind a consistent stream of thoughts, emotions, and visualizations that are in absolute harmony with your burning desire and your unwavering faith. It is about rewriting your mental code for automatic success. Imagine, if you will, the operating system of this powerful computer. If it is filled with outdated, limiting, or negative programs, instilled by past failures, societal conditioning, or self-doubt, then despite your conscious desires, your actions will inevitably be sabotaged by these deep-seated instructions. True success demands an internal alignment, a seamless integration between your conscious aspirations and the unwavering execution of your subconscious. Are you actively auditing the programs running in your mind, or have you allowed obsolete and detrimental software to dictate your outcomes? I observed that the great achievers, those who rose above the clamor of mediocrity, instinctively understood this principle. They did not leave the programming of their most powerful mental asset to chance. They consciously, consistently, and with profound emotional conviction impressed upon their subconscious minds the exact nature of their objectives, believing implicitly in their eventual realization. This was not a passive daydream. It was an active, internal declaration, a constant reaffirmation of purpose. They understood that the subconscious mind makes no distinction between an intensely imagined experience and an actual one. Therefore, by vividly picturing their desired outcomes, by infusing these mental images with powerful emotion, they were, in essence, rehearsing their success, making it so real internally that its external manifestation became almost an inevitability. How often do you consciously engage in such powerful, emotionally charged mental rehearsals? Or do you allow worry and doubt to dominate your inner screen? The common error, a pitfall that ensnares countless individuals, is the use of empty affirmations without genuine emotion or belief. To simply repeat words like, "I am wealthy," while internally harboring profound doubts about your financial capability, is akin to trying to install complex software on a computer that is not configured to run it. The words themselves are inert. It is the emotional charge, the deep-seated conviction that accompanies those words, that imbues them with power, allowing them to penetrate the conscious mind and begin the work of reprogramming the subconscious. This means you must not only formulate clear, concise affirmations of your definite chief aim, but you must also infuse them with the feeling of already having achieved them. You must feel the joy, the relief, the satisfaction of accomplishment, even before it has physically materialized. This emotional resonance is the key that unlocks the door to your subconscious potential. Consider for a moment the profound impact of negative self-talk, of constant internal criticism, or the passive acceptance of external limitations. Each instance is a line of code, a program being fed into your silent programmer, often without your conscious consent. If you continually tell yourself or allow others to tell you that you are not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough, then your subconscious, in its dutiful obedience, will work tirelessly to manifest these limitations in your reality. The law of autosuggestion, therefore, demands a vigilant gatekeeping of your thoughts. You must become the conscious editor of your internal narrative, deliberately replacing every limiting belief, every self-defeating thought with empowering, affirmative programming. This requires discipline, yes, but the rewards are immeasurable. For once your silent programmer is aligned, once its code reflects your highest aspirations, your journey toward success will move from arduous struggle to a smooth, almost automatic progression, guided by an invisible hand. This is the power you possess. Are you utilizing it to its fullest, or are you allowing it to remain a dormant, undirected force? With your desire now a blazing inferno and your faith an unshakable bedrock, your subconscious mind, the silent programmer, awaits its precise instructions. But what, precisely, are those instructions? How do you feed it the right data, the correct algorithms, to navigate the complex terrain toward your definite chief aim? This brings us to the fourth universal law, a principle that serves as the GPS of geniality. This is the law of specialized knowledge, the direct route to your unquestionable mastery. Many mistakenly believe that success hinges upon knowing everything, upon accumulating vast encyclopedic knowledge across every conceivable field. This is a profound misconception. Napoleon Hill observed that the truly successful individuals, those who amassed great fortunes and left indelible marks upon the world, were rarely omniscient scholars. Their power did not stem from an indiscriminate absorption of facts, but from a highly targeted, intensely focused acquisition of specialized knowledge. This isn't about general education, though that has its place. It's about the deliberate pursuit of understanding what matters most for your specific purpose, and, crucially, knowing precisely where and how to acquire that knowledge when you do not already possess it. Reflect for a moment. Are you collecting facts, or are you forging tools? The distinction is vital. The unique power of this law lies in its emphasis on depth over breadth, on utility over mere accumulation. It underscores the profound difference between being good at many things and being the best at one or a few crucial things. In a world clamoring for versatility, Hill's insights remind us that true, enduring value often resides in mastery. Consider the surgeon who has dedicated decades to perfecting a single complex procedure, or the engineer who possesses an unparalleled understanding of a specific material, or the strategist whose insights into a particular market segment are virtually infallible. These individuals do not possess superficial understanding. They embody mastery. Their specialized knowledge solves problems others cannot, creating a demand and a value that transcends general competence. Are you striving to be a jack of all trades, or are you consciously carving out a niche where your expertise becomes indispensable, where your mastery is unquestioned? This focus, this deliberate narrowing of scope to deepen impact, is the hallmark of those who truly understand and apply this law. The acquisition of this specialized knowledge is not limited to formal academic institutions, nor is it a one-time event. It is a continuous, dynamic process. It involves diligent study, yes, but also practical experience, the careful mentorship of those who have already achieved what you seek, and a relentless commitment to adaptation and learning from every encounter. The world evolves, and so too must your knowledge base. It means identifying the precise skills, the specific information, the critical insights that are absolutely essential for the realization of your definite chief aim. And if that knowledge is not currently within your grasp, it means developing a system, a network, a method for acquiring it efficiently and effectively. Do you have a clear strategy for continuous learning, or are you relying on yesterday's insights to solve tomorrow's challenges? Herein lies one of the most common and debilitating errors, a pitfall that traps countless intelligent and well-meaning individuals, the paralysis by analysis. This is the relentless accumulation of information without an equally vigorous commitment to its application. It is the fear of not knowing enough, the perpetual deferral of action until every conceivable piece of data has been gathered, every potential outcome analyzed. While admirable in its pursuit of thoroughness, this tendency ultimately stifles progress. It becomes a sophisticated form of procrastination, masquerading as diligent preparation. Hill observed that the successful do not wait for perfect knowledge, for perfect conditions. They gather the necessary specialized knowledge, they form a plan, and they act, learning and refining their understanding through direct engagement with reality. Are you allowing the quest for more information to become an excuse for inaction, preventing you from ever fully activating your blueprint? The individuals Hill studied understood that true power lay not in being a walking encyclopedia, but in knowing precisely what questions to ask and who possessed the answers if they did not. They surrounded themselves with experts, forming alliances, a concept we will explore further, and leveraged the specialized knowledge of others as if it were their own. This is not intellectual laziness, it is strategic wisdom. It is the understanding that a collective of focused expertise is exponentially more powerful than any single individual's generalized understanding. Your role, as the leader of your own destiny, is to identify the precise knowledge gaps that impede your progress and then, with unwavering resolve, to fill them, either through direct acquisition or through strategic alliance. This direct and unwavering focus on pertinent knowledge and its immediate application is what transforms aspiration into tangible accomplishment. How adept are you at identifying these crucial pieces of the puzzle and integrating them into your strategy? Having armed yourself with specialized knowledge, the precise data points necessary for your journey, We now turn to the extraordinary faculty that processes these raw materials, transforming them from mere information into the very fabric of your future reality. This is the fifth universal law, a power so profound, so inherently divine, that I have come to call it the quantum blueprint. This is the law of imagination, your mental factory for future realities. Many view imagination as a quaint, perhaps even childish, diversion, a realm for poets, artists, and dreamers, disconnected from the rigorous demands of business or the stark realities of achievement. This is a colossal misjudgment, a fundamental misunderstanding of one of humanity's most potent engines of creation. For Napoleon Hill, in his relentless dissection of success, recognized imagination not as an escape from reality, but as the precursor to all innovation and wealth. It is the crucible, the laboratory within your mind, where the seemingly impossible is first conceived, nurtured, and ultimately transmuted into the possible. Before any skyscraper pierces the clouds, it first soared within the mind of an architect. Before any invention revolutionized an industry, it first took form in the imaginative landscape of its creator. Can you truly conceive of any significant human achievement that did not, at its genesis, spring from the fertile ground of imagination? I cannot. Hill meticulously observed two distinct yet interconnected forms of imagination at work in the lives of the superachievers. There is, firstly, what he termed synthetic imagination, the faculty through which you rearrange old concepts, ideas, or plans into new combinations. This is the practical problem-solving aspect, taking existing knowledge and reconfiguring it to solve novel challenges. It is the brilliant engineer who sees a new application for an old technology, the astute business person who combines existing services in an innovative way, creating a new market. This is not creation ex nihilo, but rather intelligent synthesis, a powerful act of mental architecture. Then there is creative imagination, the faculty that taps directly into the infinite intelligence of the universe, providing sudden flashes of insight, inspiration, and original thought. This is the aha moment, the sudden solution that seems to appear from nowhere, the groundbreaking idea that transcends all previous knowledge. This is where true genius often resides, accessible to those who diligently cultivate its connection. Do you actively practice both forms of this powerful mental capacity, or do you allow your imagination to lie fallow, underdeveloped? The unique approach to imagination, as illuminated by Hill's work, is that it is not a passive reception of images, but a deliberate, cultivated faculty. It is a tool, and like any tool, its effectiveness depends entirely on the skill and intention of its user. The great minds he studied did not wait for inspiration to strike. They actively sought it, they cultivated an environment for it, and they relentlessly engaged their imaginative faculties towards their definite chief aim. They knew that their thoughts, when backed by burning desire, faith, and specialized knowledge, and then crystallized through vivid, persistent imagination, possessed an intrinsic power to attract their physical equivalent. They understood that the universe, in its boundless wisdom, responds to the clear, well-formed images held consistently in the mind. Are you treating your imagination as a random dream generator, or as the precision instrument it truly is, capable of shaping your destiny? The most common error, and a truly tragic one, is to confuse purposeful, creative imagination with idle daydreaming or wishful thinking without clear purpose. Daydreaming, while seemingly harmless, can be a dissipative force if not directed. It is the unchanneled energy of a powerful river, spreading out into a marsh rather than being harnessed to turn a mill. Wishful thinking, unaccompanied by a burning desire, faith, and planned action, is merely a pleasant fantasy that never quite makes the leap into reality. The distinction lies in the direction and emotional intensity applied to the imaginative act. When you engage your imagination with a clear purpose, a definite goal, and infuse it with the profound emotion of achievement, you are not merely thinking, you are actively creating. You are constructing the quantum blueprint, sending a clear, unambiguous signal to the universe about what you intend to manifest. Hill witnessed repeatedly that those who achieved true greatness were those who could hold an image of their desired future in their minds with such clarity and conviction that it became more real to them than their present circumstances. They walked, talked, and acted as if their goal was already attained, using their imagination as a powerful rehearsal space for their future self. They understood that every invention, every fortune, every significant enterprise began as an idea, a mental image, an imaginative construct. This mental image, when held with persistence and unwavering belief, becomes the magnet that draws to you the necessary resources, people, and opportunities. Are you actively using your imagination to vividly construct your desired future? Or are you allowing it to wander aimlessly, painting canvases of unfulfilled possibilities? The quantum blueprint is not a suggestion. It is the fundamental precursor to all materialization. Embrace it, use it, and watch as your inner visions begin to solidify into your external reality. With your desire burning fiercely and your faith an unshakable bedrock, your subconscious mind, the silent programmer, now diligently accepting its directives, and your imagination, the quantum blueprint, actively constructing your future reality, the crucial next step is to bridge the chasm between vision and tangible outcome. This brings us to the sixth universal law, a principle that serves as the strategic chessboard. This is the law of organized planning, the master strategy behind every great conquest. Many individuals possessing brilliant ideas and fervent aspirations falter at this very juncture. They envision the summit, but neglect to chart the treacherous terrain, to account for the necessary equipment, or to assemble the capable team required for the ascent. Hill observed that a desire, no matter how intense, a faith, no matter how profound, and an imagination, no matter how vivid, will remain impotent without the detailed, meticulously organized plan to translate these mental constructs into physical reality. A plan, in its purest form, is your invisible general, guiding each step, preempting obstacles, and ensuring that every ounce of effort is directed towards your definite chief aim. It is the architectural blueprint for your imaginative constructs, converting abstract mental images into concrete, actionable steps. Without it, even the most potent forces within you risk being dissipated in aimless, uncoordinated effort. Consider the meticulousness with which a military general plans a campaign. Every resource is accounted for, every contingency considered, every movement choreographed. The objective is clear, but the path to achieve it is broken down into a series of smaller, manageable operations. This is the essence of organized planning. It is not about a single grand declaration, but about the painstaking process of identifying all the necessary steps, arranging them in logical sequence, assigning responsibilities, establishing timelines, and anticipating potential roadblocks. It is the bridge between your powerful internal world and the sometimes unyielding external reality. Where does your grand vision reside? As a lofty ideal, or as a detailed step-by-step itinerary? The process of organized planning necessitates a level of critical thinking that transcends mere optimism. It demands cold, hard realism. It requires you to consider your starting point, your available resources, both tangible and intangible, and the specific actions required to move from your current state to your desired destination. This often involves making lists, consulting experts, drawing upon your specialized knowledge, delegating tasks, and, most importantly, committing these plans to writing. The act of writing down your plan is not merely administrative. It imbues your intentions with a tangible form, giving your invisible general explicit orders to follow. It clarifies thought, exposes weaknesses in logic, and reinforces your commitment to the objective. How often do your grand ambitions remain merely thoughts, unwritten, unquantified, and therefore unpursued with the necessary rigor? The true genius of organized planning, as Hill emphasized, lies in its inherent flexibility. A plan is not a rigid dogma, an unbreakable set of rules that must be adhered to at all costs, even in the face of changing circumstances. On the contrary, a truly effective plan is a living document. It is a strategic framework designed to guide you, but also to adapt. The world is dynamic, unpredictable. Market conditions shift, new technologies emerge, unexpected challenges arise. To cling rigidly to an outdated plan in the face of new information is to invite stagnation and defeat. The general who refuses to adapt his battle plan to the movements of the enemy is doomed to failure. Similarly, your personal blueprint for success must be capable of absorbing new data, adjusting tactics, and pivoting strategies without ever losing sight of the ultimate definite chief aim. The plan serves the vision. The vision does not serve the plan. Are your plans adaptable, or do they crumble at the first sign of unforeseen difficulty? The common errors that derail individuals at this stage are twofold and equally destructive. Firstly, there is the complete failure to plan. This is the individual who, driven by desire and faith, launches into action without any coherent strategy. Their efforts are often chaotic, reactive, and ultimately ineffective. They expend tremendous energy, but because it is undirected, it lacks the cumulative power to move them decisively toward their goals. They mistake activity for productivity and constant motion for genuine progress. Secondly, and perhaps more subtly insidious, is the creation of a plan so rigid that it breaks at the first obstacle. This is the individual who, having meticulously crafted a plan, views any deviation or unforeseen challenge as a catastrophic failure of the entire endeavor. They lack the mental agility to adjust, to find alternative routes, or to adapt their strategy. When their initial plan encounters resistance, they become disheartened, paralyzed, or abandon the entire pursuit, mistaking a necessary tactical adjustment for an insurmountable roadblock. Hill's observations consistently showed that those who achieved lasting success were master strategists, but also master adapters. Their initial plans were thorough, but their commitment was to the objective, not merely the original method of achieving it. They understood that the pathway to success is rarely a straight line, and often involves detours, revisions, and sometimes complete re-evaluation of tactics. But through it all, the burning desire remained, the faith endured, and the imagination continued to envision the ultimate triumph. Organized planning, therefore, is not merely a task, it is a discipline. It is the ongoing commitment to intelligently chart your course, to anticipate the seas you will sail, and to retain the flexibility to trim your sails or change your heading without ever losing sight of your ultimate destination. Without this invisible general, even the most formidable army will wander lost, exhausting its resources to no avail. With your organized plan now meticulously laid out, a clear pathway from your current reality to your definite chief aim, a new and formidable challenge emerges. For a plan, no matter how brilliantly conceived or meticulously detailed, remains merely ink on paper, a theoretical construct until it is breathed life through a singular potent act. This brings us to the seventh universal law, one that I have termed with stark accuracy, the motor of momentum. This is the law of decision, and it reveals precisely why indecision is the silent assassin of your most cherished dreams. Consider this deeply. You stand at a crossroads. Your mind, brimming with the insights of specialized knowledge, having conjured vivid images of your success through imagination, and having structured a logical sequence of steps, now faces the ultimate test. Will you hesitate? Will you dither, perpetually weighing options, perpetually seeking more information, perpetually postponing the moment of commitment? Or will you, with unwavering resolve, strike the match, ignite the engine, and launch yourself unequivocally upon the chosen path? This is the essence of decision. It is not merely a choice between alternatives. It is a definitive, irreversible commitment that sets in motion the powerful forces of your subconscious mind, aligns your actions with your stated purpose, and signals to the universe your absolute readiness to proceed. Without this decisive spark, even the most magnificent machine, perfectly designed and fueled, remains inert. Where in your own life do you find yourself lingering at the precipice of commitment, allowing the fear of an imperfect choice to overshadow the imperative of any choice? My extensive observations of hundreds of individuals who amassed great fortunes and achieved monumental success revealed a striking, undeniable pattern. They possessed, almost universally, an extraordinary capacity for rapid and firm decision-making. When presented with facts, when a plan had been formulated, they did not waver. They acted. And, critically, once a decision was made, they were remarkably slow to change it, unless new, undeniably compelling facts presented themselves that warranted a revision. This stands in stark contrast to the vast majority of people whom I found to be perpetually indecisive, prone to vacillation, and quick to abandon a decision at the first whisper of doubt or difficulty. The cost of this indecisiveness, I assure you, is immeasurable. It is not simply lost time. It is lost momentum, lost opportunity, and a corrosive erosion of self-trust that, over time, can paralyze even the most ambitious spirit. Think of the psychological cost of prolonged indecision. It drains your mental energy, consumes your focus, and breeds a gnawing anxiety. Every moment spent in wavering is a moment where your subconscious mind receives conflicting signals, where your internal programmer is fed contradictory instructions, leading to internal conflict and external stagnation. The mere act of making a firm decision, even if imperfect, liberates an incredible surge of energy. It channels your mental and emotional resources, previously fragmented by doubt, into a cohesive force. It creates momentum. It declares, both to yourself and to the world, this is the way forward. This clarity, this decisive action, clears the path for the subsequent laws to engage fully. It's like clearing a blockage in a powerful river. Once the obstruction is removed, the current flows with renewed vigor. Do you feel this energy, this liberation, when you commit fully to a path? Or do you feel the drag, the weariness of perpetually holding your options open? The common errors that transform indecision into the silent assassin of dreams are often rooted in a profound, albeit often unacknowledged, fear of error. Many individuals are so terrified of making the wrong choice that they prefer to make no choice at all. They mistakenly believe that by delaying a decision, they are somehow protecting themselves from failure. What they fail to grasp is that indecision is a decision to remain stagnant, a decision to forego opportunity, a decision to allow circumstances to dictate their course rather than consciously charting their own. This fear is often compounded by the relentless pursuit of perfection, the elusive quest for all possible information before acting. They wait for an impossible certainty, for the perfect alignment of stars, when life, in its dynamic essence, rarely offers such pristine conditions. The truth, as illuminated by Hill's research, is that an imperfect decision executed with firmness is almost always superior to the perfect decision endlessly deferred. Life is a constant unfolding, and real learning, real growth occurs not in the contemplation of ideal scenarios, but in the gritty, imperfect reality of action and consequence. Furthermore, indecision often stems from a lack of confidence, a failure to trust one's own judgment. It's a habit cultivated through years of seeking external validation, of relying on others to make choices, or of being reprimanded for past mistakes. To overcome this, you must consciously cultivate the habit of decisiveness. Start small. Make choices, even minor ones, quickly and firmly. Practice trusting your intuition, coupled with your specialized knowledge. Understand that a bad decision, when acted upon decisively, still provides invaluable feedback and learning that indecision never can. It is a stepping stone, a data point, guiding you towards greater clarity. The rich and successful decide quickly and change slowly. The poor and struggling decide slowly and change their minds frequently. Which habit are you currently cultivating? Which habit will truly serve your definite chief aim? The law of decision is a call to courage, a demand for commitment, and a profound declaration of your sovereignty over your own destiny. It is the moment you translate intention into initiation. Without this critical turning point, all the desire, all the faith, all the planning, and all the imaginative power risk remaining trapped in the realm of potential, never fully breaking through into the tangible world of achievement. It is the motor that drives momentum, the force that propels your carefully laid plans into dynamic action. Embrace it, for in the firmness of your decisions lies the undeniable power to shape your reality. Having now made your firm decision, having set the motor of momentum into motion, you will inevitably encounter the forces designed to test your resolve, to probe the depth of your conviction. This brings us to the 8th universal law, a principle so critical, so fundamentally intertwined with ultimate triumph, that I have termed it, with profound reverence, the unyielding river. This is the law of persistence, the force that carves canyons through mountains, the relentless power that ensures your definite chief aim will manifest, provided you do not yield to the erosion of temporary defeat. Consider the natural world for a moment. Does a river on its journey to the sea cease its flow merely because it encounters a boulder, a cliff face, or a seemingly impenetrable gorge? No, it adapts. It flows around the obstruction, or it gradually, relentlessly, carves a new path, eroding the hardest stone over time, demonstrating an unwavering commitment to its ultimate destination. This is precisely the lesson of persistence. It is not a blind, foolish stubbornness that refuses to acknowledge reality. Rather, it is an intelligent, adaptable, and unshakable commitment to an objective, despite all evidence to the contrary. It is the grit that transforms a firm decision into an accomplished fact. Many begin the journey with admirable enthusiasm, fueled by desire and a nascent faith. But few possess the fortitude to weather the inevitable storms that will rage against their ambition. Where, in your own journey, have you allowed temporary setbacks to divert your course, or even worse, to halt your progress entirely? My extensive research into the lives of history's most successful men and women revealed an astonishing uniformity on this point. None of them achieved greatness without encountering and ultimately overcoming colossal setbacks and daunting failures. Edison famously endured thousands of unsuccessful experiments before perfecting the light bulb. Henry Ford faced bankruptcy multiple times before his automotive empire took hold. Abraham Lincoln suffered numerous political defeats before ascending to the presidency. These were not men who simply got lucky. They were individuals who possessed an almost superhuman capacity to persist in the face of what others would deem insurmountable odds. They viewed temporary defeat not as a signal to quit, but as invaluable feedback, as a necessary component of the learning process, guiding them closer to the correct solution. For them, failure was merely an instruction, a detour, never a dead end. What is your own relationship with failure? Do you see it as a final judgment or as a temporary instruction on the path to mastery? The unique power of persistence lies in its capacity to fortify both your internal resolve and your external efforts. Each time you push through an obstacle, each time you refuse to yield to discouragement, you are reinforcing the strength of your character, deepening your faith, and sending an unequivocal message to your subconscious mind that your definite chief aim is non-negotiable. This consistent demonstration of unwavering resolve magnetizes opportunities, attracts supportive individuals, and often, by sheer force of will, compels external circumstances to align with your intentions. It builds an inner reservoir of strength, a psychological immunity against the corrosive effects of doubt and fear. Conversely, each time you give in to defeat, each time you abandon a project at the first sign of difficulty, you weaken your resolve, erode your self-confidence, and condition your subconscious mind to expect failure, making it exponentially harder to persist in future endeavors. The habit of persistence, therefore, is not merely about achieving a specific goal. It is about building the very foundation of an unshakable character, a character that can achieve any goal. The most common errors that sabotage persistence are multifaceted. Firstly, there is the lack of a definite chief aim backed by burning desire. Without a powerful emotional objective, the effort required to persist seems too great, the reward too distant. The initial enthusiasm wanes, and without that deep-seated emotional fuel, the will to continue evaporates. Secondly, there is the absence of an organized plan. Without a clear roadmap, each obstacle appears as an insurmountable wall rather than a specific challenge within a larger strategy. The individual feels lost, undirected, and easily overwhelmed. Thirdly, and perhaps most subtly insidious, is the influence of negative suggestions, often from well-meaning but ill-informed friends or family, or from one's own internal committee of doubt and fear. These insidious whispers can chip away at resolve, making the arduous path seem hopeless. To combat this, you must consciously guard your mental space, feeding it positive affirmations, drawing upon the law of autosuggestion, and surrounding yourself with individuals who uplift and support your ambition. Hill's observations were clear. The successful did not possess some mystical power to avoid obstacles. They simply possessed a superior capacity to outlast them. They understood that the distance between a firmly made decision and its ultimate manifestation is bridged by nothing less than persistent, unwavering action. They kept their minds fixed on their definite chief aim, constantly refined their plans based on experience, and refused to accept defeat as anything other than a temporary setback. The quality of your persistence is a direct measure of the depth of your desire, the strength of your faith, and the clarity of your purpose. It is the crucible in which true champions are forged. Without this unyielding resolve, the finest plans crumble, the brightest imaginations dim, and the most fervent desires remain forever locked in the realm of dreams. Embrace the spirit of the unyielding river, for it is the force that will ultimately carry you to the vast ocean of your accomplishments. Now, having fortified your internal world with unyielding persistence, having navigated the turbulent waters of initial resistance, you stand ready to amplify your efforts exponentially. For while individual drive is indispensable, there comes a point where the sheer magnitude of your definite chief aim demands a force greater than any single mind can generate. This brings us to the ninth universal law, a principle so profoundly powerful, so consistently underestimated by those who attempt to conquer the world alone, that I have christened it the confluence of titans. This is the law of the mastermind, the strategic alliance that transforms ambition into an unstoppable force. Consider for a moment the magnificent symphony orchestra, each musician highly skilled in their individual craft, capable of producing beautiful music alone. Yet, when their talents are brought together under the precise direction of a conductor, and each plays their part in perfect harmony towards a singular collective composition, the resulting sound transcends the sum of its individual parts. It is a force, a resonance, a grandeur that no single instrument could ever hope to achieve. This, precisely, is the essence of the mastermind principle. It is not merely a gathering of individuals, but a coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of perfect harmony for the attainment of a definite purpose. It is the multiplication of mental energy, the fusion of diverse perspectives, and the compounding of specialized knowledge that unlocks solutions and creates opportunities far beyond the grasp of isolated intellect. Do you still believe you must bear the entire burden of your grand vision alone? Or are you ready to harness a power that can literally bend reality to your will? My exhaustive study of the most influential figures across history, from the early industrialists to the architects of modern enterprise, revealed this truth with startling clarity. None of them achieved their monumental successes in isolation. Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate, openly credited his immense fortune to his cabinet of brains, a group of highly intelligent and dedicated individuals whose combined efforts and insights he orchestrated. Thomas Edison surrounded himself with brilliant scientists and engineers at his Menlo Park laboratory, recognizing that his own genius was amplified through collaboration. Henry Ford, though often perceived as a solitary visionary, relied heavily on the collective expertise of his engineers and executives to bring mass production to fruition. These were not men who feared sharing their vision. They were men who understood that true power lay in the intelligent aggregation of mental and spiritual forces. They did not hoard talent. They marshaled it. The unique power of the mastermind lies in its capacity to transcend individual limitations. No single person, no matter how intelligent or resourceful, possesses all the specialized knowledge, all the necessary experience, or all the creative insight required to navigate every challenge inherent in a truly grand endeavor. A mastermind alliance acts as a living, breathing collective intelligence, where weaknesses are compensated for, strengths are leveraged, and problems are approached from multiple complementary angles. When two or more minds work in perfect harmony, a third, invisible force of energy is created, a synergistic mental electricity that stimulates new ideas, sharpens critical thinking, and unlocks unforeseen possibilities. It is as if the collective brain power becomes exponentially greater than the mere arithmetic sum of its parts. This is why carefully chosen partners, mentors, and advisors are not simply helpful additions. They are often the indispensable engines that propel a vision from concept to colossal reality. Have you identified those whose mental and spiritual forces, when combined with your own, could elevate your endeavors beyond anything you might achieve alone? The most common errors, and arguably the most crippling, that prevent individuals from harnessing this profound power are rooted in ego, fear, and a misunderstanding of collaboration. Firstly, ego often dictates a lone wolf mentality, a misguided belief that one must prove their individual brilliance by accomplishing everything independently. This is a recipe for burnout and limited achievement. True leadership, as Hill observed, involves the wisdom to recognize one's own limitations and the humility to enlist the complementary strengths of others. Secondly, fear, particularly the fear of sharing ideas or giving credit, can lead to hoarding information and resisting genuine collaboration. This cuts off the very lifelines of synergistic growth. Thirdly, many confuse a true mastermind alliance with mere committees or social groups. A mastermind is defined by its definite purpose, its spirit of harmony, and its coordinated action towards that shared objective. It is not a casual association, it is a sacred pact of mutual commitment and support. It demands careful selection of individuals whose talents, perspectives, and characters are genuinely complementary, and whose personal ambitions align with the group's overarching goal. To cultivate your own mastermind, you must begin with a clear understanding of your definite chief aim and then thoughtfully identify the precise skills, insights, and mental attributes that are currently missing from your personal arsenal. Seek out individuals who possess these qualities, who share a similar level of burning desire, and who are willing to contribute their mental and spiritual energies in a spirit of genuine harmony. This alliance need not be formal or involve financial partnerships. It can be a mentorship, a close group of trusted advisors, or even a virtual network of like-minded individuals. The key is the intentional, harmonious coordination of minds towards a common end. For it is through this confluence of titans, this intelligent aggregation of mental power, that the seemingly insurmountable obstacles dissolve. and the path to your greatest achievements becomes not just clearer, but powerfully inevitable. Do not underestimate this force. It is the lever that moves the world. With the formidable power of your master mind now assembled, a collective intelligence poised to elevate your ambitions beyond individual limits, we now turn to a source of energy so primal, so profoundly potent, that its intelligent redirection can unleash unparalleled creative and productive forces within you. This brings us to the 10th universal law, one often misunderstood, frequently dismissed, but undeniably crucial to the sustained output of genius and monumental achievement. I have termed it the alchemist's forge. This is the law of sex transmutation, and it reveals how a fundamental human drive, when wisely channeled, becomes the very fuel for your greatest endeavors. Consider the raw, untamed energy of a cascading waterfall. If left undirected, it simply dissipates, carving its own course without purpose. Yet, when harnessed, when its power is channeled through turbines and generators, it becomes a source of immense electricity, capable of lighting cities and driving industries. The creative force inherent in the sexual instinct is precisely this kind of raw, potent energy. It is, in its original form, the most powerful and insistent of all human desires, capable of driving individuals to extraordinary lengths. Napoleon Hill observed that this energy, if understood and intelligently redirected from its purely physical outlet, can be transmuted into an equally powerful, creative, and transformative force in other domains of life, particularly in the pursuit of wealth and success. This is not about suppression, but about elevation and intelligent redirection. Are you allowing this powerful internal generator to run wild and undirected, or are you actively channeling its energy to fuel your highest aspirations? My meticulous study of individuals who achieved greatness, particularly during their periods of most intense productivity and innovation, revealed a consistent pattern. They were not necessarily ascetics, but they possessed a profound capacity to transform the emotional and creative energy associated with the sexual drive into other forms of intense, purposeful activity. This creative surge, when redirected, manifested as heightened enthusiasm, sharpened imagination, increased courage, and an almost magnetic power to attract and influence others. It was as if this primal force, when elevated, infused their every thought and action with an extraordinary vitality. This is why periods of intense love or deep emotional connection often coincide with bursts of creative output and professional achievement. The energy is amplified and sublimated into productive channels. Do you recognize how moments of intense inspiration or creative flow often feel like an overwhelming internal force? This is often the energy of the alchemist's forge at work. The unique power of sex transmutation lies in its ability to provide a boundless reservoir of enthusiasm and mental vigor. All humans possess this drive, yet few consciously tap into its constructive potential. When an individual learns to redirect this energy, they gain access to a form of mental and emotional stimulant that far surpasses artificial aids. It manifests as a heightened sensitivity to ideas, an increased capacity for rapid decision-making, an almost superhuman level of persistence, and an undeniable personal magnetism that draws others to their cause. It is the force that propels a person beyond mere competence to genuine genius, transforming ordinary efforts into extraordinary achievements. How often do you feel a lack of sustained energy or enthusiasm in your pursuits? Could it be that this potent internal force is being dissipated rather than directed? The most common errors and the most detrimental misunderstandings surrounding this law stem from societal taboos, ignorance, or a complete lack of awareness regarding the true nature of this energy. Many confuse transmutation with repression, mistakenly believing that one must deny or suppress this fundamental drive. This is not the case. Suppression often leads to frustration and unhealthy psychological states. The key is transmutation, which is the conscious act of taking the emotional energy of the sexual instinct and channeling it into creative, productive, and intellectually stimulating endeavors. It is about understanding the potent creative force embedded within this drive and redirecting it towards your definite chief aim. It is treating this energy as a precious resource, too valuable to be squandered thoughtlessly. Furthermore, another error is the failure to recognize that this principle applies not just to romantic or physical intimacy, but to the broader spectrum of emotional energy generated by our relationships and aspirations. It is about channeling any intense emotional energy, be it passion, ambition, even frustration, and redirecting it into constructive outlets. The artist who channels heartbreak into a masterpiece, the entrepreneur who funnels anger at injustice into building a revolutionary product, these are all examples of this alchemical process. The mastermind alliance, which we just discussed, is one of the most potent settings for this transmutation, as the collective energy and purpose provide a powerful crucible for individual creative forces. By consciously embracing this law, by understanding the profound creative potential within your most powerful emotional drives, you gain a constant, inexhaustible source of energy to fuel your ambition, deepen your insight, and magnetize your success. This alchemist's forge, when wisely managed, ensures that your internal power is always aligned with your highest external goals, making your journey not just productive, but powerfully vibrant. With the unquantifiable energy of the alchemist's forge now skillfully directed, fueling your creative and productive engines, we turn our attention to the tireless, unseen force that operates beneath the surface of your conscious awareness, diligently working to translate your dominant thoughts and desires into their physical equivalent. This brings us to the 11th universal law, a principle so vital to the manifestation process, so ceaseless in its operation, that I have named it the silent steward. This is the law of the subconscious mind, the fertile ground where your thoughts take root and blossom into reality. Recall for a moment the vast, intricate ecosystem of a garden. The gardener plants seeds, waters them, nourishes the soil, and protects them from pests. But the actual act of growth, the mysterious process by which a tiny seed transforms into a magnificent plant, occurs beneath the surface, unseen, governed by an inherent intelligence within the seed itself, working tirelessly, day and night. Your subconscious mind operates with precisely this kind of tireless, unseen diligence. It is the repository of all your habits, beliefs, and past experiences, and it functions as a highly fertile soil that accepts any seed, be it positive or negative, fear or faith, success or failure, and then works tirelessly to bring that seed to fruition in your physical reality. It makes no distinction between constructive and destructive impulses. It simply acts upon the dominant thoughts and emotions you feed it. Are you consciously choosing the seeds you plant in this fertile ground? Or are you allowing errant thoughts and fears to take root and dictate your harvest? My exhaustive studies consistently revealed that successful individuals intuitively or deliberately understood this profound mechanism. They recognized that their subconscious mind was not a passive recipient, but an active, creative force, and they learned to communicate with it effectively. They understood that every dominant thought, every deeply held belief, every intense emotion, when held with persistence and conviction, is absorbed by the subconscious and then, through processes yet to be fully understood by science, is translated into its physical equivalent. This is why the laws of desire, faith, and autosuggestion are so critical. They are the mechanisms by which you plant the right seeds in the subconscious soil. Without a definite chief aim, desire, an unshakable belief in its attainment, faith, and the consistent emotional repetition of these directives, autosuggestion, the subconscious mind, lacking clear instructions, often defaults to old limiting programs or simply reacts to external stimuli, perpetuating cycles of mediocrity or misfortune. How consistently are you feeding your silent steward the directives that align with your highest aspirations? The unique power of the subconscious mind lies in its uninterrupted operation and its direct connection to infinite intelligence. Unlike your conscious mind, which requires rest and can only process a limited amount of information at a time, your subconscious mind never sleeps. It works 24 hours a day, synthesizing information, connecting seemingly disparate ideas, and solving problems, often presenting solutions in dreams or sudden flashes of insight when the conscious mind is relaxed. Furthermore, it appears to have an inherent connection to a universal intelligence, a source of all knowledge and power, allowing it to draw upon resources and guidance far beyond your personal understanding. When your desires and beliefs are deeply impressed upon the subconscious, it begins to work on your behalf, guiding you to the right people, revealing the necessary opportunities, and orchestrating circumstances to bring your definite chief aim to pass. This is not magic. It is a fundamental law of the universe. The most common errors that prevent individuals from effectively harnessing the silent steward are rooted in negative thought patterns, fear, and a lack of consistent, positive programming. If you constantly dwell on thoughts of lack, limitation, or failure, your subconscious, in its dutiful obedience, will work to manifest those very conditions in your life. It does not judge, it simply executes. Therefore, every doubt, every fear, every worry you entertain becomes a negative seed planted in your mental garden, destined to yield a bitter harvest. Another critical error is inconsistency. Feeding your subconscious contradictory messages, positive affirmations one moment, followed by deep-seated doubts and worries the next, is like trying to plant a garden by scattering seeds haphazardly, changing your mind about the crop every hour. The soil becomes confused, and no consistent, abundant harvest can be produced. To effectively harness the law of the subconscious mind, you must become a vigilant guardian of your thoughts and emotions. You must consistently and emotionally impress upon it your definite chief aim, reinforced by unshakable faith and a burning desire. Visualize your success, feel the emotions of achievement, and speak with unwavering conviction about your inevitable triumph. Eliminate negative self-talk and consciously replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Understand that every thought you entertain is a command issued to your silent steward, a seed planted in the fertile ground of your subconscious. By consciously choosing your dominant thoughts and emotions, by consistently feeding it the right directives, you engage this powerful force as an unwavering ally, ensuring that your inner world is perfectly aligned with your external ambitions. This is the unseen foundation, the relentless worker, that translates your mental blueprint into the tangible architecture of your success. With the silent steward now diligently working beneath the surface, transforming your deeply impressed thoughts into tangible reality, we now arrive at a profound truth regarding the very mechanism through which these thoughts are broadcast and received, not just within your own being, but across the vast, interconnected tapestry of existence. This brings us to the 12th universal law, a principle so fundamental to the flow of ideas and the attraction of necessary resources that I have named it the cosmic transceiver. This is the law of the brain, a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. And it reveals how your mind is constantly sending and receiving impulses, shaping your reality through this energetic exchange. Consider the intricate complexity of a modern radio or television receiver. It does not generate the broadcasts. Rather, it tunes into specific frequencies, capturing and decoding the signals that are constantly in the air. Your brain operates on a remarkably similar principle, but with an infinitely greater capacity. It is not merely a generator of thought. It is a highly sophisticated instrument capable of both broadcasting your dominant thought vibrations into the ether and receiving thought vibrations from other minds and from the vast reservoir of infinite intelligence. This is not mystical speculation. It is an observation of how creative ideas, sudden inspirations, and often the right people and opportunities seem to materialize precisely when your mind is harmonized with a clear, definite purpose. Are you consciously tuning your mental transceiver or allowing it to pick up random static from the universe? My extensive research into the lives of history's most creative and successful individuals revealed an undeniable correlation between their periods of intense focus on a definite aim and the sudden, often inexplicable arrival of hunches, inspirations, or answers that seemed to come from outside their own conscious thought process. They understood, either intuitively or through deliberate practice, how to activate their brain's receiving mechanism. They consistently kept their minds charged with a high degree of emotion and a definite purpose, desire, faith, autosuggestion, thereby creating a vibrational frequency that attracted ideas and solutions in harmony with their objectives. This is why the mastermind principle is so potent. It creates a collective mental energy, a focused frequency that amplifies both broadcasting and receiving capabilities, often leading to a synergy where ideas flow freely among the group. Have you ever had a sudden gut feeling or an idea pop into your head that provided the perfect solution to a problem you were wrestling with? This is the cosmic transceiver at work. The unique power of viewing the brain as a broadcasting and receiving station lies in its implications for attracting the necessary resources and collaborations for your definite chief aim. When your mind is fully charged with a burning desire, unwavering faith, and clear plans, it sets up a powerful vibrational field. This field not only influences your own actions and subconscious programming, but also projects outward, attracting individuals, circumstances, and ideas that are in vibrational harmony with your dominant thoughts. It explains why, when you are passionately pursuing a goal, the right people seem to appear, the coincidences necessary for progress occur, and the lucky breaks fall into your lap. These are not random events. They are the natural consequence of your mental transceiver broadcasting a clear signal and receiving the corresponding responses from the universal field of thought. Are you intentionally broadcasting your aspirations, or are you allowing your mental energy to diffuse into a weak, undirected signal? The most common errors that prevent individuals from effectively utilizing the cosmic transceiver stem from negative thought patterns, lack of clear purpose, and emotional discord. If your mind is filled with doubt, fear, and worry, it broadcasts these negative frequencies, inevitably attracting circumstances and people that resonate with those vibrations. Just as a radio tuned to static cannot receive a clear program, a mind clouded by negativity cannot receive clear, constructive inspirations. Furthermore, a lack of definite purpose results in a weak, diffuse signal, unable to attract anything specific or substantial. The brain, without a clear directive, simply broadcasts a general hum, failing to connect with the specific frequencies necessary for your definite chief aim. Emotional discord, such as anger, jealousy, or resentment, further pollutes the signal, making it difficult to achieve harmony or attract positive influences. To effectively harness the law of the cosmic transceiver, you must actively cultivate a mental state aligned with your highest aspirations. This involves consistently applying the preceding laws, maintaining a burning desire, nurturing unshakable faith, feeding your subconscious with positive autosuggestions, and holding clear, vivid, imaginative blueprints. When your mind is focused, charged with positive emotion, and directed towards a definite purpose, it becomes an incredibly powerful magnet, drawing to you precisely what you need. Furthermore, you must make a conscious effort to guard your mental space from negative influences and thoughts, understanding that every thought contributes to the vibrational frequency you are broadcasting. Learn to trust your hunches and sudden inspirations, as these are often the incoming signals from infinite intelligence, guiding you towards your goals. By consciously engaging your brain as a dynamic, two-way communication system, you transform it from a passive organ into an active instrument for shaping your destiny, ensuring that the universe itself conspires to bring your definite chief aim into glorious manifestation. With your cosmic transceiver now finely tuned, broadcasting your definite chief aim with unwavering clarity and receiving the necessary signals from the universal intelligence, you stand at the threshold of the most profound and mysterious of all the universal laws. This brings us to the 13th and final universal law, the culmination of all that has come before, a faculty so extraordinary, so often misunderstood, that I have named it the inner oracle. This is the law of the sixth sense, the ultimate interface with infinite intelligence, the guiding compass that transcends ordinary reason. Consider the journey you've undertaken thus far. You began with a burning desire, fortified it with faith, programmed your subconscious through autosuggestion, built a precise plan with specialized knowledge and imagination, committed to it with firm decisions, persisted through every setback, leveraged the power of the mastermind, channeled your creative energy through sex transmutation, and learned to manage your subconscious and conscious mind as a broadcasting and receiving station. The sixth sense is the point at which all these elements converge and activate, allowing you to perceive truths, receive insights, and gain guidance that far surpasses the capacity of your 5 physical senses or even your rational intellect. It is the antenna that connects directly to the source of all wisdom, providing hunches, inspirations, and premonitions that guide you unerringly toward your destiny. Have you ever experienced a sudden, inexplicable knowing, a flash of insight that proved uncannily accurate without any logical basis? That, my friend, was the inner oracle speaking. My extensive observations revealed that the sixth sense is not a gift bestowed upon a select few, but a faculty inherent within every human being, awaiting cultivation and activation. However, it is the last of the principles to be developed, and its activation depends entirely upon the diligent and persistent application of the preceding 12 laws. It is like the delicate bloom of a rare flower, requiring precisely the right soil, light, water, and care to unfold its magnificent potential. Those individuals who achieved the greatest successes, who seemed to possess an almost uncanny foresight, a miraculous ability to navigate complex challenges, were those who had, either consciously or unconsciously, activated and trusted this inner faculty. They learned to listen to the still, small voice within, to heed the promptings of intuition, and to act upon inspirations that often defied conventional logic. The unique power of the inner oracle lies in its capacity to provide guidance that is often unavailable through any other means. It operates in the realm of hunches and sudden illuminations, giving you flashes of insight into future possibilities, warning you of impending dangers, or revealing optimal solutions to problems that your conscious mind has wrestled with fruitlessly. It is the faculty that allows you to know things without knowing how you know them. This is where true genius often resides, for it is through this channel that individuals tap into the universal wellspring of knowledge, receiving ideas that are truly original, strategies that are profoundly innovative, and foresight that allows them to anticipate trends and opportunities long before others. When your brain is operating as a finely tuned cosmic transceiver, and your subconscious is programmed for success, the inner oracle becomes the ultimate navigational tool, an internal GPS that always points towards your definite chief aim. The most common errors that prevent individuals from activating and trusting the inner oracle are primarily rooted in over-reliance on logic, fear of the unknown, and a lack of consistent mental discipline. In our increasingly rational and materialistic world, we are often conditioned to dismiss intuition as unscientific or unreliable. We demand empirical proof for everything, thereby stifling the very faculty that operates beyond the realm of immediate sensory data. Fear of making a mistake, of being seen as irrational, or of venturing into the unknown also causes us to ignore or override these subtle promptings. Furthermore, without the consistent mental discipline fostered by the previous 12 laws, a clear purpose, faith, persistence, and a mind free from debilitating negativity, the signal from the inner oracle is often too faint or too garbled to be heard clearly. It's like trying to listen to a whisper in a noisy room. To cultivate and develop your sixth sense, you must first and foremost diligently apply all the preceding laws. As you consistently feed your subconscious positive programming, clarify your definite chief aim, bolster your faith, and persist through every obstacle, you gradually clear the mental clutter and refine your mental faculties. Then, you must cultivate moments of quiet introspection and meditation, allowing your conscious mind to relax and become receptive to the subtle whispers of intuition. Pay attention to your hunches, even the small ones, and test them cautiously. The more you acknowledge and act upon these inner promptings, the stronger and clearer they will become. Trust that the universe, through this faculty, is constantly attempting to guide you, to provide you with the answers you seek, and to illuminate the path forward. The sixth sense is the crowning achievement of a mind fully aligned with its definite chief aim and fully connected to infinite intelligence. It is the ultimate expression of personal power, allowing you to move through life with an almost effortless grace, guided by an unseen hand. It is the faculty that transforms aspiration into destiny, making your journey not just successful, but profoundly meaningful. Embrace the inner oracle, for it is the highest form of wisdom, waiting patiently within you to be awakened and to guide you to triumphs beyond your wildest imaginings.